Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. G'day everyone, my name is Cao Yang, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested in migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once you have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Alright, today's video, I would like to make this video a more of instrumental, procedural, kind of teaching video. Now, as we know that the government of Australia has enforced and make a lot of policy in regards to protect the potential migrant exploitations. So what they have done, they have introduced law one by one. If you have gone through my channel, well, they are not a lot, but they have done, the law has been legislated and put in place and established. I think it's pretty firm now. It's the reason why they are putting this foundation is that they are looking towards the announcement of the new skills and demand visa. Hopefully they can make the employment sponsor visa more of the fair ground between the employer and employee. Now, there has been so many employer and employee issues in the past, and it's all around the world. Especially there is a visa in between the employer and employee, and usually a lot of these migration agent or migration lawyers has been caught in between, and they just don't know what to do and create a lot of problem in the past. Now, hopefully all these laws will make things much more easier. Now, today's video is more about if you really experience some of the bad stuff coming from your employer who has been abusing his power in a way of making you, perhaps there are numbers of cases that we're gonna go through it. So this web page that has been established by the government of Australia, the Home Affairs, is gonna be very helpful. So here I'm just gonna help everybody to navigate through. So if you wanted to find out this website, it's not that hard. All you need to do is go to Google and punch in Home Affairs and then space migrant worker protections, and they're in multiple different languages. If you need, just go in there and click on it, and you will find the language that you prefer, and they will explain detail there. Despite, mostly all the migrants should already come to Australia with there should be English ready. But anyhow, let's have a look. So the Migration Amendment Strengthening Employment Compliance Act 2024 has put this in place. The law deters employer and other labor chain using person's migration status to exploit them. So for example, making you overwork, overtime, unpaid, all these kind of stuff, or doing works that is totally unrelated to what you're supposed to be done under the contractual agreement there, or perhaps there wasn't even a contractual agreement. There is even a comic. They made a comic. I don't know why they do that. I mean, reading things through should be easier, but if you want, there is a comic that you can read. So let me just open that up for you. Here we go. If you like that, not too sure why they do that. I think it's a more a waste of money on this one. And they also make it in cartoon, so you can actually watch it in cartoon rather than a comic.
Hi, Jay.
So let me just mute that so you can listen to.
They're really important in my business.
But anyhow, that's the way they're gonna explain. But let me put it in more precise information here as you are watching my video here. So starting from 1st July, now it's August already, the law has aimed to reduce the temporary migrant worker exploitation, increase employee compliance, improve workplace justice outcomes. So I'm going to show you where that visa is. There are 3 new work-related offenses. So let's have go. I'll explain it when I read through. So let's have a look at the first one. Right up there, it says coerce and pressure a temporary visa holder to breach work-related visa conditions. So what does that mean? That means, for example, your work conditions should be working full-time. Now that's 35 or 38 hours per week, but if they force you to work overtime but not paying for overtime work, now that is something wrong. Or perhaps, again, as what I have described, they ask you or force you, coerce for you to actually work for something else that's not related to the job. So that's something that we are looking into. Okay, and the second one is coercive pressure non-citizen. What's the reason between temporary visa holder and non-citizen? Okay, and without a valid visa to accept agree to work-related arrangements. For example, that's the reason they put non-citizen or not temporary visa holder. Perhaps this person doesn't even have a visa. Now they were lured to Australia with some sort of visas. For example, the travel visa, tourist visa. They don't have any work permit. However, they have been coerced, pressure, and even with their visa has expired, they don't care. They continue to pressure them to work. And that is something that are breaching the actual law, and that's what they're trying to say here. There's a differences between temporary visa holder and non-citizen. So temporary visa holder could still hold the valid employment sponsored visa, subclass 4A2, but overwork without pay. Okay, something like that. And non-citizen, for example, just as I had paid the example there. Now the third one is using work temporary visa status to exploit them in workplace, including the existing condition requirement to support future application. What does that mean? Now that means some of the employer will go like this. They will go, right, you have to complete this, you have to get that done, otherwise I'm not going to sponsor you for your permanent residency visa. You probably have heard a lot of kind of stories, and there has been a lot of case studies in the past. Anyhow, I think the new skills in demand visa will fix this quite well. First of all, you can accrue your work employment experiences from eligible and different employer, as long as they have passed the standard business sponsorship. And also you can self-nominate once you hit the 24 month. But how do you self-nominate? We'll see how that goes. So that will eliminate a lot of issue in regards to how a employer pressure the migrant workers to actually do something, achieve something in order for them to actually provide a further sponsorship for permanent residency. Okay, now further on, there's a law cover range of work-related situations. So underpaying, we have talked about that scenario. There's pressure in migrant worker to work more hours allowed by the conditions. So they overwork. You can be a holder of student visa. You can only work 20 hours or 24 hours per week, but they have forced you to actually work 38 hours, 40, 50, that's something that they will breach the what the employer should do. Threatening and cancel migrant workers visa. Now you cannot do that. That's against the law. Now you can actually make a complaint. Coerce migrant worker to hand over their passport. Now I haven't really seen that. That's crazy. How would you hand over a passport? But there has been, for example, if that's usually what happened, that will be in a criminal gang situation where it's international, global criminal, group, and they have been shifting people from country to country to conduct international crime. So that will be something like that. So that's how the passport will be managed by someone else. Coerce the migrant worker to engage unwanted sexual acts. Okay, sexual act, that will define that will basically describe a lot of different situations. So again, that's a very specific topic on that one. You probably need some further professional legal advice on that one if they have something like that. But usually it will include the harassment. Harassment will include it in there. Okay, pressuring migrant workers to accept inadequate living conditions such as poor housing, inadequate meal. Now I personally seen this. This actually happens a lot in the agricultural area. However, a lot of these conditions may have been accepted by the workers themselves. But if this has been legislated into law, even if it has been accepted by the migrant themselves, it will still be against the law. So if you have been pressured to live in, 14 people in a household, that's crazy. I've seen that kind of stuff, and your living space is so tiny. It's almost like living in a prison cell, things like that. That will be something that you could make a complaint with. So the law protects all migrant workers no matter what visa status, and there are two places to go. Now it's very important. The reason this is very important is that I'm going to show you where you like to go, what you need to do. Now, first of all, I would like to provide this information on the 408 visa. Now 408 visa, a lot of people have known this visa as the COVID visa. Obviously COVID visa is no longer there. Now they have also inserted this new workplace justice pilot. Now I've done a special video on this one. Now it's formally officially there now, so you can check out this visa. Now this visa don't get you into permanent residence at all. This is all for justice and fairness. If you have found in a situation that has been what we described previously, now this visa is for you to actually protect the migrant workers. So if you make a complaint and you need to leave the post, then this visa is right there for you. So as you can see, it's up to 6 to 12 months. But then how do you apply? You gotta have what they call a certification of your claim of workplace exploitation matter. Now how do you get that? We gotta go back here, and you can see down here there is a where Fair Work Ombudsman and Border Watch, and once you click on them, here's this one. Okay, now this is the Fair Works Ombudsman. That's usually, as it says, it's provide a fair work balances. If you have identified yourself in an unfair situation, you can make a complaint here. Obviously, there's a lot of things you need to go through. You can make an anonymous report, or in your own language, and then you will have that certification done in order to actually for you to lodge 408 visa to protect yourself whilst you finding a further visa to be to continue to stay in Australia. Now the other one is going to the Border Force. Now what are the differences here? Now Border Force is more towards criminal conducts. So again, for example, the sexual slavery stuff, or perhaps you found that you have been coerced and pressured to work, conducting work that is some sort of you found it's more of criminal activities. Then you will go into the Border Force website to actually get that file, and once you get that file, you will have that certification in order for you to actually lodge 408 visa to actually get yourself in a very protected situation where you have that visa. You can remain in Australia for further justice or whatever the requirements there. Anyway, that's a little bit of information for you, if you just to protect yourself. If you've been employed and working in Australia and you found yourself in an unfair, unjust, or perhaps illegal activities going on, you may utilize this information, this video, and also make a report or complaint and file your workplace justice visa in order to protect yourself more. Should you have more question, query, more than welcome to leave a comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.